The day my mom dropped me at that cold building, she didn't even look back. She held my little sister's hand, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "Be good for Mommy, okay?" Then she turned to me, blank face, no words, and walked away. That's the last time I saw her for years. Before I continue, make sure to subscribe, like, and share, because what happened next changed everything I ever believed about family. When you're a child, you think your parents will always protect you. I thought the same, until they split up and started choosing sides. My mom took my sister, my dad took my brother, and no one took me. At first, I thought it was a mistake. I waited by the window every night, thinking someone would come back. But days turned into months, and silence became my new family. The foster home wasn't what people imagine. No warmth, no bedtime stories. Just rules, strangers, and the sound of other kids crying at night. I learned early that no one was coming to save me, so I stopped waiting. I studied hard, stayed quiet, and promised myself, one day, I'll be the one who decides. Years later, I kept that promise, but not in the way anyone expected. Years later, I had built a life most people wouldn't believe came from a foster kid. I worked 2 jobs through college, earned scholarships, and studied law while others partied. I didn't tell anyone where I came from. It was easier to let them think I was just quiet, not broken. One morning, while leaving the courthouse, I saw a familiar face waiting by the steps. For a second, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. But it was real. My mother. She looked older, sharper, her voice trembling as she said, "Brielle, we need your help." I froze. The same woman who once left me behind was now standing in front of me, asking for something. My stomach twisted, but I forced a polite smile. "I'm sorry. Do I know you?" Her face went pale. Behind her, a man stepped out of a black car. My dad. The one who took my brother. For years, they never called, never wrote, never cared. Now, suddenly, they were both here. Together. My first thought wasn't why. It was how much. Because people like them only showed up when they needed something. And I was right. My mother took a shaky breath before she spoke. "It's about your grandfather's estate," she said softly, as if the word estate would soften the years she abandoned me. My father avoided eye contact, pretending to check his phone. Apparently, my grandfather, the only person who ever sent me a birthday card in foster care, had passed away, leaving behind a fortune. And somehow, his lawyers couldn't locate one crucial signature needed to release the inheritance. Mine. I wanted to laugh. The same people who tossed me aside were now begging for my approval. My mom's voice cracked. "Brielle, you don't understand. It's not about money. We just need closure." Closure. That word hit like poison. When I was 10, I begged her for the same thing. Just a letter, a visit, a reason. She never showed. So I straightened my jacket, stared right into her tear-filled eyes and said, "You're right. It's not about money. It's about what's fair." Their expression shifted. Fear, confusion, guilt, all at once. But deep down, I wasn't angry anymore. I was calculating. They had no idea I already knew everything about that estate, because I was the executor. My father's jaw tightened. "Executor?" he repeated, like the word itself offended him. My mother blinked fast, whispering, "How could you be?" "I earned it," I said quietly. Grandpa made sure of that. They both looked at me as if I'd stolen something from them. The irony almost made me smile. My grandfather had watched them tear our family apart and saw who stayed standing when everything else collapsed. Before he died, he changed his will, gave control of the entire estate to me, My mom stepped closer, her voice trembling with that fake softness I remembered too well. Brielle, honey, we were young. We made mistakes, but we're still family. Family. That word used to hurt. Now it meant nothing. I opened my briefcase, pulled out a copy of the will, and laid it on the hood of their car. You both already signed away your claims years ago, I said. You just didn't bother to read the fine print. Dad's voice turned sharp. You think you can just erase us? I looked up at him, calm. No, I said. You did that yourselves. For the first time, they looked small. The kind of small that comes when you finally face what you created. And as they stood there speechless, I realized this was never about revenge. It was about balance. The lawyer stepped out from behind me holding a folder. He nodded slightly, then handed my parents a notice. Mr. and Mrs. Collins, he said in his steady professional tone. As of today, Ms. Brielle Collins is the sole trustee and executor of the late Mr. Harrison's estate. Any further claims will be considered invalid. My dad's face turned red, his voice shaking with anger. This is ridiculous. We built this family. I met his eyes. You built a family that excluded me. My mom reached out, her hand trembling. Please, Brielle. We have nowhere to go. The house, it's in foreclosure. That hit harder than I expected. For a moment, I felt a flicker of pity. Then, I remembered every night I cried myself to sleep, wondering why I wasn't worth staying for. You know what's funny? I said, my tone calm but cold. When I was in state care, I used to dream that one day you'd come for me. I thought maybe there'd been a mistake. Turns out, the mistake was believing you ever would. She started to cry, real tears this time, but it was too late. I turned to the lawyer. File the final transfer. He nodded. As they stood there, broken and speechless, I walked away. Not angry, not triumphant, just done. They taught me that blood doesn't define family. Choices do. And this time, I was the one who decided.